and gentlemen. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau. Once again, did not walk yesterday. Not because of any physical issues or not wanting to, but because it was 100 degrees yesterday here in Maine, and we had extremely high humidity and dangerous dew point temperatures. It was so steamy last night, I couldn't believe it. It was dark. It was dark and it was still 89 degrees, 90 degrees at 9 o'clock at night. And it was extremely humid. So while the sun wasn't out, it was hot. Today it's noticeably much better. It's about 85 degrees, 82. The dew point is under 60 now. Humidity is at 44%. There's a gentle breeze. It's perfect for walking. So tonight we're going to walk. And I think I'm going to do somewhere around 6 miles, maybe a little more. It's because I didn't walk yesterday. I got something to drink in my backpack. And we got a few things to talk about. First thing I want to get out of the way is I want to say thank you very much for tuning into the channel and walking with me. It really means a lot to me. We saw President Trump from The Hague with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth discussing the MOP bombs that were dropped in Iran to obliterate their nuclear program. And yes, their nuclear program was obliterated. The sticking point controversy seems to be for the media, who just won't give Trump a win, that somebody in the Pentagon leaked classified intel that was an initial report that stated that the damage was either, forget exactly how it was phrased, but basically, to summarize, it was stating that the info we have right now, we cannot confirm that major damage was done. So the media took that upon themselves to say that the attack was not successful, and seemed to have been making a big news cycle out of it and looking as stupid as they are by the end of the next day, when Iran itself said that their nuclear program has been severely damaged and perhaps delayed for years. Israel's intelligence says the same thing, and satellite imagery that we've used from Iran says the same thing. In fact, in one of the images that I looked at and was shared, you can see where physically that top of the mountain has dropped several feet lower than it was. with 3 holes side by each, in the ground where those bombs went in. Perfect direct hits. You can see a big black crater. The whole top of the mountain collapsed. And the mountain is made of granite because when you build an underground facility, you obviously need it to be structurally sound. So that was all granite with tunnels in it that go to the other 2 sites that were also hit. So it's pretty obvious to anyone, and doesn't need to be an expert in any of that stuff to understand that the amount of damage was tremendous. Iran's nuclear program has been obliterated, okay? They no longer have it to use as any kind of political advantage with neighbors. They don't have an air force anymore. They don't even have defenses to their own country left anymore. So, President Trump, peace through strength, stated at every rally that he would take out their nuclear program. I don't know how people expected him to do that without using bombs or military use. But I'm pretty sure sending the Ayatollah a warm box of muffins and asking him nicely to just play along with the rest of the world probably would not have accomplished anything. In fact, Trump did send him a warm box of muffins. He gave him 60 days to come to the table to negotiate, and they didn't take him seriously because they're used to that from American presidents, both Democrat and Republican in the past. They don't have the balls to do anything. Well, this one does. So now, Iran's nuclear program has been ended. They may want to continue it if they want to, but it's not going to really accomplish much. Because the amount of money that they spent on the first one is tremendous amounts of money that, quite honestly, Iran would have to manufacture that money again, and it took them years to get to this point. So that's just the truth of it, my friends. The media sucks as much as we knew they did. They literally are the enemy of the people. They abuse the First Amendment for politics. Watching a Senate hearing this evening, actually before going on this walk, is a perfect example of the scumbaggery from the media and Democrats in tandem. So what happened, and we will be doing a selfie stream up ahead, I'm just not doing it now because all the cars, it draws attention, people beep, I really don't like it. So we'll wait till we're on side streets or something. But anyway, the Senate hearing today, the Democrats had their talking points they derived from the media for Émile Beauvais, which, by the way, is a French name. Émile, E-M-I-L, and Beauvais, B-O-V-I-E. he is the chief federal prosecutor that Trump has appointed. So of course, because Trump appointed him, and he was also a lawyer that defended Trump, the Democrats don't want him to win that. So anyway, on short notice before his hearing, the New York Times, with an anonymously sourced email that they received from attorneys that worked in the Southern District of New York that were let go by Beauvais because Emile Beauvais let them go because they were using political bias, prosecuting Trump, and being politically motivated in doing so. So they were very upset that they were relieved of their cushy jobs in the Southern District of New York by Trump's defense attorney, who is now up for the chief federal prosecutor job. So this is what happens when you go after a political opponent, abusing the courts, and you lose. So I would like to suggest that any future political persecution / prosecutors, what goes around comes around, and you probably shouldn't do that. So they were not very happy about that. It sure looks like this nominee is going to be nominated. And he's also the one that led to a lot of the J6 cases getting overturned. It was clearly evident that they used the government, DOJ, under Biden's administration, used an incorrect law and twisted it for political purposes. So those cases were tossed, plus Trump pardoned all of them. And they were upset that they didn't get their political prosecutions that they wanted for J6. They thought for sure the public would turn on Trump, blame him for January 6th, and not have a chance to be elected. Well, we all know what happened since the election. And I'm enjoying every minute of this. The Democrats at that hearing today regurgitated all of the false claims made by these people to the New York Times, basically disgruntled employees. And he testified under oath today, nope, that's not true. Nope, that's not true. Democrats really thought they had something. And they came up empty. So they're all sleazebags, scumbags, whatever you want to call them. And it's pretty nice entertainment to watch, I can tell you that much, if you get a chance to. It certainly was interesting. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on like that. The other thing I want to talk about is well, I'll save that for a little bit. Now I'm getting warm right now, starting to sweat. Hey, how are you? So anyway, we have some of my walk in the books already, according to the voice in my ear. I am starting to sweat. It's warm. I think I am going to reverse my route I had planned. I think I'm going to go the opposite way that I would have come back on. Because when we come back, it'll be at night. It'll be dark. So we're going to walk down this way. So the media narrative was that this guy had spoken with Stephen Miller, this guy Emile Beauvais that I'm talking about, that he had spoken with Stephen Miller, and then shortly after that, Emile Beauvais decided to drop charges against Mayor Adams of New York as a quid pro quo agreement to assist Trump with immigration in New York. So under oath today, Emile Beauvais flatly denied all of that. So the Democrats, big chance today, went up in smoke because it just simply was not true. Which most of the Democrat talking points are not true. They're usually half-truths, exaggerated half-truths. And the other thing it's worth watching for is it's worth watching just to hear Adam Schiff saying "fuck you" over and over again, because they were trying to say that Emile Beauvais, that's the words he used when asked, what are you going to do when the courts order you to do this, that, or the other thing having to do with immigrants, like the one that got sent to El Salvador, or plane loads being shipped out. Supposedly this Emile Beauvais told them to say "fuck you" to the courts. That's a direct quote. And Adam Schiff was more than happy to repeat himself today, saying "fuck you" several times to his commentary to this guy, asking about the comments on that under oath. So very entertaining stuff. Probably the first senator at a committee hearing, a judicial committee hearing, using the words "fuck you" in it. But alas, here we are in 2025, where Democrats have cheapened everything to the point where they're rolling around in their own shit while doing their official duties, and they don't seem to care. They think because Trump swears that they can combat Trump by swearing too, I guess. So anyway, there was an incident with Israel and Iran after the peace deal had been brokered by Trump, where Israel had a flight of jet planes ready to head off and attack Iran. Because a rocket at the last minute exceeded the deadline and crashed into an apartment building, which did kill some Israelis. So Israel was rightfully upset, certainly. And this is the sun is starting to set. There's a lot here that obviously they're doing some kind of work to, or using it as a repository for stuff they've dug up, looks like. Talking about those piles of trees and wood there. So anyway, President Trump called Israel and said, "You got to call those back. We can't have that attack." I know you're probably justified and in the right to do it, but, you know, please, I'm asking you as a favor, don't do that. And Israel changed and did not do that. Called the planes back, which was good. And Trump was talking with the media. You've probably seen it by now. He said both of these countries have been fighting for so long that neither one of them know what the fuck they're doing, he said. And he walked off towards the Marine One. So that made the global news. And President Trump is a master at that. Because whatever Trump says gets magnified. And he blamed Israel for that. He said that was Israel's fault. And they shouldn't have done that. You know, he goes, we institute a peace deal. We have 12 hours until it takes effect. And he goes, when we did that, it didn't mean that in the first hour that it takes place, that you only have 12 hours left to bomb the crap out of Iran. He goes, that's not what I meant. Apparently, Israel took it as a green light to go bomb the crap out of Iran until the 12th hour of the 12-hour break, the 12 hours before the peace deal. So Iran got the last word in, and Israel didn't like it, but I'm glad they're adhering to the peace deal so far, it looks like. And there's really no other option for Iran. They don't have a military left. Well, they have soldiers, and they have some stuff that could raise some hell, but they don't have an invasion force, and they sure don't have an air force. Most of their missile capabilities have been taken out. There's really, Iran at this point, you know, I'll turn this around now. Iran at this point really does not have any serious capability to be an issue in the region anymore. So that's just the reality of it. And this is what I voted for. And damn you, sons of bitches, you, you wussy, wimpy MAGA people, not the good MAGA people like me, but the weak wishy-washy ones who got all wishy-washy. Trump is starting a war. No, he's not. He did what he said he was going to do at every rally we watched. He's not starting a war. He's finishing one. Israel took it upon themselves to attack Iran. Trump asked them not to, and they did it anyway. So I don't know how hard Trump talked them into not doing it, because he did it, but I'm just saying the perception is Trump did not okay that. So anyway, I'm going to turn this around for a minute. I'm going to cross the street. And we got a refrigerator out here with a magnetically sealed door that you don't need to take off the hinges. Remember I was telling you about that? So I'll flip the camera back around shortly. Anyways, that's the deal going on with that. And really enjoying walking. Usually I'm on this route at night. This is one of my night routes I like, especially in the summertime. I don't walk this in the winter. I don't walk it in the fall. I don't know why. I just enjoy it more in the summertime. So Up here, we got a vehicle with no power who just pulled over here, and they coasted there and they're taking stuff out, so I think they're having car problems, whatever those would be. Got some black people having an argument. Don't know what's going on here. I will be careful. Well, what I should do is cross the street. Just almost saw an accident because somebody wasn't paying attention. Domestic dispute. I'm not getting involved with that. She wants her keys so she can go home. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. It's warm today. People like to drink when it's warm. I don't know what's going on there, but we just almost saw a head-on accident with a pickup truck who had his lights on and he had his other lights on. Running lights. And somebody still had to apply their brakes real quick because they weren't paying attention. So this is going to be one of those nights, my friends. So anyway, this used to be a really nice neighborhood. And I say used to be because now it's filled with migrants. And a lot of the people that lived in town that didn't have much money have spread out this way. And first of all, I don't want to blame people that don't have much money, calling them bad people. I'm just saying that element that we don't like has moved out this way. And they're doing the stuff that we just saw. Having fights and stuff like that. That's where you get kind of like domestic violence shootings, which don't only happen in poor neighborhoods, I get that, but I think I know what I'm trying to say. It's pretty unfortunate. I'm sure you'll find drugs in this neighborhood now too, I guess is my point. The world's gone to shit, folks. Since Adam Schiff is swearing and the president's swearing, I guess tonight I'm gonna fucking swear too. How's that? Well, it's something I do very often in person. Usually when I'm emotional about something. I do believe it is a sign of I don't want to say lower intellect, but people that use the F word 6 times in a 12-word sentence, it shows lower education, where you can't articulate the words you're trying to say, so you say that instead. So this was considered a rich neighborhood when I was a kid. You can believe that. Which way do I want to go? Should I go up that way? Should I? Yeah, we'll go up that way. Across the street here. As soon as it's safe. All the cars are going to come at once now. Not always the way. It's like they wait for you. Oh, he's going to cross. Let's hurry up and get over there. Kind of a nice view, I guess. So we'll head up Weber Avenue. That's the street I want. This is going to come out on Lisbon Street. This will give me my 6 miles tonight. Easy. Easy! As it gets darker, I'll switch over to night vision, which is the wide angle, which makes my face look really round on here, and I hate it. But it's a fisheye. So anyway, we're walking on here. Hope you're enjoying the convo tonight. The Democrats are really just funny to watch right now, and so is the media. They're really trying to find the thing that sticks, you know? The thing that'll stick, the talking point for next year's election. It just never shows up. They thought they had Signalgate with Pete Hegseth. You know, well, that wasn't the best thing that could have happened. It certainly was not anywhere near being the crisis the media made it sound like, and the Democrats too. You have to remember, they want their puppets in the Pentagon. So, what an amazing time to be alive. I'm serious, man. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible, the stuff we're witnessing right now. And it's going to get better. I'm loving what's going on right now. Iran's nuke program has been a problem since the early 2000s. Everybody's been concerned about it. Trump finally put an end to that. It took a few 30,000-pound bombs and the balls to drop them. That's all it took. It didn't take $1.7 billion on a pallet of cash in the middle of the night in Swedish marks. None of that crap. Who knows where that money came from, really? Unbelievable. But anyway, other big news. Trump flew back today from The Hague. He went to the NATO summit. And guess what, folks? Guess what? Another big fucking win for Trump. I'm filled with glee. I'm gonna swear tonight. I'm so happy. I'm excited. He got the rest of the European countries to cough up 5% of their GDP to match ours. We were paying our full 2% previously. So now we're going to pay 5%. We're going to be paying more, okay? But here's the catch. Europe, who was not paying their fair share and using our money, is no longer going to be using our money. So the EU compromised and decided to do 5% of their GDP to match ours because they're realizing how much money 5% of our GDP is. there's going to be so much money for NATO that, one, it will do a lot to deter Putin from Ukraine without having to get us involved in Ukraine. Now it can be NATO's problem. They can go ahead and deal with it. So if Zelensky wants money for bombs, well, the EU is going to have to pay for that now, which they are. So very happy about that. Really am. I don't know what kind of guarantees or security there is with our money we give to NATO. That's the other issue. It's the only issue I have. How many are going to exploit that and launder the money? But I have a feeling the Trump administration will be watching that. But Trump's been trying to get them to pay their fair share since 2016, okay? And now they will. So right now I have my front screen setting to match my rear one, which means after 5 minutes it turns off while I'm using it, and I hate that. So once in a while you'll see me reach over and I'll tap on it. I'm just getting it to come back on. So anyway, my friends, good things are happening. The other good thing I want to talk about, and this is important, is I went and bought some food earlier, and about half the food that I paid for, some of it went down $2 to $3 in price for something that used to be $17, $18 has dropped $3. And that would have to do with meats. Price of meat has come down. Very happy about that. I bought some milk. That went down a little bit too. I also got some peanuts. That went down a little bit. And I left the store and I was like, you know what? I just paid about $20 to $25 less than I paid just a month ago. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Starting to see some things. Price of fuel has spiked a little bit though, unfortunately. But that'll come down now that the Iran thing has been pretty much solved, and it looks like they're not going to be closing the Strait of Hormuz because the United States, quite honestly, would not allow them to do that anyway. So I don't know if this peace agreement stops Iran from funding and arming terrorist proxies like the Houthis and Hamas, but I would assume that would be implied. And, you know, if Iran gets out of line, we'll just go at them again, that's all. We'll just let Bibi Netanyahu go, right? Which, by the way, Trump made a post on Truth Social tonight stating that they are trying to politically prosecute Bibi Netanyahu in Israel. They have the same politicized lawfare. They're doing the same thing to Bibi Netanyahu. Something to do with a cigar, a toy teddy bear. I'm not making this up. A cigar, a toy teddy bear, and something else. I don't even want to know, okay? I don't know what's going on in Israel, but that seems pretty strange to me. Anyway, I haven't researched it. I read part of an article online, and I was like, well, I'm busy right now. I'll get back to this later, and then I end up going on this walk, so I really don't know what I'm talking about with that yet, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But basically what Trump said was he's a national hero, a warrior at one of the most consequential times in Israel's history for survival, and you're prosecuting him. He goes, I wholeheartedly do not support that. And he said in all caps, stop this foolishness now. And I agree. So they have their equivalent to the Democrat Party over there, activist judges, and they're not in power. The conservatives are. So if the liberals would have been in charge of Israel, nothing would have happened with Iran. nothing would have been done to Hamas in retaliation for what they did. Well, they would have done something symbolic. Dropped a few bombs, kind of like President Clinton used to do. He'd go fly some Tomahawk missiles out in the desert and blow up a handful of tents. You know, call this a major military victory. And we blew up some tents that presumably belonged to the Taliban or something. So anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around. Actually, I'm going to switch it over to night vision right now. And I want to thank you very much for walking with me. And I'll be right back in night vision. Night mode. There we go. We are now officially in night mode. So we're going to walk down to the end of the street and take a right. Now, when you've come with me before, we've come from this way, and I turned onto this one. But this time, we're going to go down straight and walk through a part we have not walked together yet. Okay? And it's going to add a little bit of time on here, but it's a warm summer night. Starting to get a cool breeze. And all these cars were waiting for me to get here again. Nice view out there. In Lewiston, Maine land. If you're watching from out of state, this is Lewiston, Maine. Lewiston, Maine, where the very famous Sonny Liston versus Muhammad Ali fight happened, with the infamous Phantom Punch took place, actually probably about a mile from here. In fact, the city of Lewiston just erected a statue of Muhammad Ali to commemorate the anniversary of that. Little hole in the wall, Lewiston, Maine. Which, to be fair, we're the second largest city in the state. And Portland, Maine is the largest, and they are absolutely socialist at this point. And I gotta speak on that. I gotta speak on socialists. I'm gonna turn the camera around for this. I don't know if you have been watching the New York primary election. The contender, Andrew Cuomo, who was a two-term governor in New York, before relinquishing that, Kathy Hochul, and a sex scandal that he still claims was not truthful or accurate. She has since won her own election after being appointed as lieutenant governor to replace the governor. And well, he was expected to win the New York primary, and he did not. In fact, he was soundly defeated by the socialist. The socialist name is Mamdani, Zohran, Z-O-H-R-A-N, Zohran Mamdani. He is, I believe he's Indian. I could be wrong on that. And he's a socialist, openly states he is. And he wants to do socialist things, which even the governor of New York was like, he can't do this stuff. There's no way, you know. He wants to replace, all right, this isn't going to be a shocker, but this guy is more radical than Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, those places where they already have radicals running that. This guy's the worst one. He makes the mayor of Chicago look conservative. All right, get this. I'm just going to run through a few things. I researched them today. This is what he stated on his campaign. First thing I'm going to mention, he wants $30 an hour minimum wage. Okay? You just heard that right. $30 an hour minimum wage. There's no way that can be done. He said he's going to pay for all of this stuff by taxing the rich. What was it Andrew Cuomo said when he was governor of New York and Kathy Hochul is complaining about right now? They are taxing the rich so much as it is, they're packing up and leaving the state, which is going to cost them a great lot of pain because they're going to lose all the tax dollars. This guy wants to tax the ones that have stayed. Well, he just won the primary. Now, if you're somebody wealthy in New York, you're going to have to decide if you're going to put some money up to defeat this guy. The reason why I say that, yes, he won the primary, but on the ballot, they have ranked choice voting in New York. And being from Maine, I know fully well how that works. I've told you many times that the Democrats end up putting people on the independent ticket because you can have as many independent candidates as you want. So I got a feeling these rich people are going to pay Andrew Cuomo, who just lost as a Democrat, to run as an independent on the mayoral ticket, because Andrew Cuomo has the workers' vote. He also has the minority vote. And you're asking yourself, well then how did this Zohran Mamdani, who's in his 30s, he's a young radical socialist. He's a socialist. He's the worst nightmare any city could ever have. And he won the primary. He did a very aggressive personal campaign, out shaking hands, knocking on doors, visiting people. Word spread about him. And most of the people that voted for him were young white liberals. A lot of the black people didn't even vote in the primary, or Hispanics, or Jews. They didn't even go vote in this primary because it's New York and it's always going to be a Democrat, and they're happy with that. Well, they did not want this guy to win, and he did. So it's going to be interesting to see if the establishment Democrats who don't want this socialist crap, because it already is losing elections for them nationally. We had a change election last year. I don't have to explain all that. So now they are going to have to find a way to get rid of this guy. And I think they're going to use ranked choice voting. I'm going to call it now, okay? I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say that the Democrats in New York are going to make sure this guy loses. Here's some of the other stuff he wants to do besides $30 minimum wage, which sounds great. Oh, great. Yeah, $30 minimum wage. You get paid $30 an hour just to scrub toilets. Okay, well, businesses have to pay that. That means in order to be able to pay that, they're going to have to hire less people because they can't afford to pay that. If they're going to stay in New York City and already abide by the outrageous amount of regulations that they have and taxes that they have already as a business compared to other parts of the country, many businesses that could have already sold, packed up, and moved to another state. They've left New York City and New York State. So now they want $30 an hour minimum wage. They raised it to $15 an hour in Portland, Maine here, and some companies had to move or close. And it turned out that a lot of young people ended up not getting jobs because the business could not afford to hire new people, and they asked the ones they had to work longer hours. So that's what happens with that. Now, the other thing he wants is he wants to do a rent freeze. He wants to suspend people's rent. So now landlords will not get paid. I don't know how he's going to do that. He's also got a whole bunch of other radical things, like getting rid of the New York Police Department. How you doing? So he wants to get rid of the New York Police Department. Not a joke. He wants to replace the police department with a new kind of police force that focuses on psychology instead of using firearms. I'm not fucking making this up, okay? Research the guy. He's a fucking nut. He just got endorsed. He got endorsed by AOC, and I'm sure she's all tickle pink right now because he won the primary. So this is like the worst thing that could happen to you people that live in New York. My condolences. But like I said, in the past, somebody that won the Democrat primary, pretty much it was given he was going to be the mayor. I don't think that's the case anymore because of ranked choice voting. I think you're going to see people like Kathy Hochul, who's a left loon herself, are going to come out and say people shouldn't vote for this guy. And I think if Andrew Cuomo is on the ticket, and then they're going to try to tell people to vote for him instead, and he may very well win. So that's going to be one to watch, because I cannot imagine New York is going to hire the most radical mayor in the country, which is what this guy would be. He would be worse than Karen Bass in Los Angeles, that idiot in Portland, Oregon, who got reelected, by the way, the other idiot in Seattle, Washington. And I just cannot imagine New York City is going to have this incredible socialist who wants to fund neighborhood grocery stores, government grocery stores, okay? Grocery stores put in your neighborhood from the government, where they use tax dollars to run these stores and to either give food away to people that need it or to sell it for really cheap money and absorbing the cost from it. And again, who's going to pay for it, he was asked. Rich people, he said. The rich people of New York are going to pay for this. No, they're not. They're not going to be rich people in New York. They're going to leave. They're rich because they didn't have to do crap like that. They're not going to stay there, folks. So I think you're going to see a mass exodus of businesses leaving New York, even more than you saw with California. And I got to put this shoot cycling jug. I walked by this and I was like, I have to pick this up because we'll shoot this. And I got my backpack. The only thing I got in it is some drinks. So I'm going to put this in there. I'll sit you down right here so you can watch. So, these fucking lunatics in New York, I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a spectacular show to watch if he becomes the mayor. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what's going to happen in New York? Now, I saw a lot of people online upset about this, and I was like, hey guys and gals, this is actually fantastic news. This is great news. And they're like, well, how can this be good news? Well, New York was already starting to tilt red. This just might finish off the Democrats in New York. I know it sounds crazy, but New York City is the crown jewel of the world, one of them. And they just elected this freaking socialist who wants to do the same things the idiot in London, UK did. London, England. Now, that's another thing. This Zohran Mamdani, primary Democrat winner in New York. He wants more immigration, more Muslims. He wants more gun control. He wants to regulate banks. All the stuff socialists do, and he's not even shy about it. He's not even shy about it. He just says it. Of course people want $30 an hour minimum wage. That don't make a pot to piss in. They don't understand that that's actually going to cause them to lose their job. Businesses can't pay that. They're gonna close and they're gonna leave. So this is absolute crazy foolishness. I mean, I thought I've seen some crap in my lifetime, but I never thought I would see a full-blown legit socialist ever win an election in a major US city. We've had some that are Democrats who deny being socialist, but they behave like socialists, but they're not full-blown socialist. This guy is a full-blown socialist. So watch that election very carefully. I think the Democrat establishment party, who knows why they've been losing, does not want a guy like this running New York City and New York, where Republicans have gained in New York. Kathy Hochul's win was not as comfortable as she wanted. President Trump pulled out good numbers in New York, especially New York City. So Republicans, conservatives are doing much better in New York City and New York. And we also flipped some Democrat congressional seats in New York, and some seats for the government in New York State government. So this is, in the long run, this is going to be good for Republicans in New York, because this socialist, I already know, is going to screw up everything. It's going to be monumental disaster. It's going to be horrible. Absolutely horrible. That, and from what they revealed in the stats, most of the people that voted for him were white liberals. So black people didn't show up to this vote. That should concern the Democrats, because why would they not show up? Probably because they don't want to vote for Democrats. So times have changed in just the past 2, 3, 4 years. It's going to be really interesting. This guy is going to do what Biden did to the country on steroids for New York City. And you're probably going to see the city go bankrupt. And they're going to want to get bailed out by the government. And Trump ought to give him the finger. So anyway, interesting times we're living in. Absolutely amazing. And man, think about what's going on right now. Is that crazy or what? Still blown away by it. I saw that announced today and I was like, I was shocked. I had no idea this guy was gonna not only pull off a win for the primary, but it wasn't even close. Andrew Cuomo wasn't close. The voters did not turn out, the regular Democrat voters. So quite possibly, the Democrat voters just might not be interested in either candidate or something. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Very bizarre. So ranked choice voting works by, it replaces runoff elections. Pretty much every place I've seen it utilized, it's if a candidate does not reach 50% of the vote, He's at 49.8%, 49.9%. Normally you would have a runoff election. You'd have a new election with, say you had 5 people on the ballot. Well, 2 of the top people would have a special election. They don't do that anymore with ranked choice. It's like an instant special election. And the way it works is, I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. And Ocasio-Cortez led the same kind of campaign that the Republicans did for Trump, in that when you have ranked choice voting, you got 5 candidates, okay? What they want you to do is pick your favorite one, and then pick your second favorite one, your third, fourth, fifth choice. So you don't have to vote for anybody on it that you don't want to vote for. But she did what the Republican Party in Maine did. They told people to vote 5 straight across just for the candidate you want. So 1, it prevents somebody from cheating and filling in somebody else that you left open. And 2, it solidifies that one single vote for your top candidate, and nobody else running gets a vote. Because how ranked choice voting works, you got 5 candidates, election day comes, everybody is under 50% because you had 5 candidates. This was way too many. But democratically, if somebody wants to run, they should be able to, right? So that's fine with me, but typically you would have a runoff election like I just explained. So now they take your second vote. Let's say the guy you voted for didn't make it. He wasn't in the top 2. He was 3, 4. And then you voted for the next guy who finished 4th and one that finished 5th. So your other choices all get added on to the one you chose in ranked choice voting. So you end up voting for somebody with 3 of your votes extra than the vote you made, and it's just wrong. It's cheating. Unfortunately, we had that on the ballot here. People passed it, but I think people regretted it, because now you can circumvent it by, like for Donald Trump, I voted 5 straight across, all for Trump. That doesn't spoil your ballot, and it doesn't allow them to fill something in after you mailed it in to cheat for somebody. And that seems to be the popular thing people have been doing. There were a lot of people that did that for Biden too. Kamala Harris, I'm sorry. Kamala Harris won Maine by 9%. Trump won the district I'm in here by 9%. So, actually I think it was 6%. But anyway, the point is, Trump won the Electoral College vote here with ranked choice voting with other candidates on the ballot, because people understand how ranked choice voting works now. And the reason why they put it on the ballot with that measure was to try to make sure that Republicans never won elections again. So that has failed for them miserably. People, you know, they're smart. They figure it out. That first election we had, using it, Jared Golden got elected. He lost initially, and then he got the ranked choice voting votes. Well, now the Republican Party files lawsuits to prevent Democrat-funded candidates as independents, because they know the people that vote for that Democrat independent, that vote's going to go to their second choice, which would be the Democrat. So it's a game that the Democrats tried to do to cheat, and it's not working for them. They lost seats in the last election here, in the Senate and in the House, so their answer to it this time is to try to pass ranked choice voting for the entire state, local elections as well, because the Maine Constitution forbid it. They tried it before, they were talking about it, and then lawsuits were filed, and it lost. That's not going to stop the Democrats from trying to get it on the ballot for people to vote for. And that's going to fail, I think. They want to have ranked choice voting for all state elections, local, big and small. Right now, it's only for federal elections. Maine Constitution won't allow it, but they're going to try it anyway. So that's another battle we're having. And instead of just changing their policies so people vote for them, they find it easier to find ways to cheat, I guess. They think that's easier. They're insane. That's insanity. All they have to do is campaign with good ideas, win the election, and then do what they said they were going to do. That's all they have to do. But they can't, because they're beholden to big donors. We don't want them to do what the people want. They want them to do what the donors want. So the Democrats come up with ways to cheat instead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, these people. It's incredible. So that's what's going on in Maine. And another thing this Zohran Mamdani wants to do, Mamdani, is he wants to, besides doing away with the New York Police Department, that should be an eye-opener. He wants rent subsidies, free rent, and he wants to do a rent freeze for people that are behind on their rent so they don't have to try to catch up. And they're going to have taxpayers pay the difference. They don't have the money for that now. So, and the whole neighborhood grocery store thing he was talking about, I watched him talking about that, so you don't have to. He wants to have neighborhood grocery stores, like I explained earlier, subsidized by the government. Everything's always subsidized by the government. It's free. Oh, it's free this, free childcare. That's another one he wants. Free childcare for everybody. So New York already has free college, which isn't free. They raise taxes on rich people to pay for that. Some rich people left. Andrew Cuomo were like, we can't just keep raising taxes. They're leaving now. Wow. You see that? That was a big branch that just fell out of that tree right next to me. I could have been walking under that tree and got bopped on the head. How about that? So anyway, Andrew Cuomo was like, we can't keep raising taxes on rich people. We already had a bunch leave for Florida. Well, this primary win today, I'm telling you right now, there are rich people in New York going, okay, that's it. This isn't going to get turned around. We're leaving. So, but I do think you're going to see some rich people in New York put up some serious money to independent candidates to defeat this guy. Because if this guy wins and you get $30 an hour minimum wage in New York City, that's the end of New York City. There's no business that's going to stay open there. There's just none. These people, they really don't know anything about economics because they don't care. This guy's only going to be there for a limited amount of time. I think New York has 2-year terms. And he's either going to get reelected or not, but we've seen how much Biden destroyed the country in 1 year. This guy, hang on to your ass, folks, if you want to see what happens to New York with this guy. Unbelievable. This is going to be, it's going to be historic, folks. It really is. I still can't believe it. I've been mulling this over since I heard about it. This morning I heard about it. I'm like, wow. There's no way. There's no way. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the camera around. It's absolutely bananas, folks. And this is absolutely welcome to friggin' crazy town. So basically, they have a mayor in New York now. I'm already predicting they're gonna have race riots because they can do it and get away with it. Mayor Adams has been cracking down on immigration because the city can't afford it. Because he knows how much money New York has, and you know, he doesn't have the money. And President Trump told him, you know, we're not going to pay for this, so figure something out. So now, this guy, if he gets elected as mayor, he's not going to have any money to do the stuff he wants to do. He's going to need Kathy Hochul and the Democrat Senate and stuff like that, and I really just honestly don't believe they're going to help this guy. He's too radical. Somebody like this is really going to hurt the Democratic Party. But that's the thing with democracy. And the sad part is the Democrats invited people like this into their party with their stupid, ridiculous, leftist, neo-Marxist, socialist bullshit. Now this guy's going to ruin New York City. There's nothing they can do about it. So I'm predicting it now, okay? I'm predicting this now. Mark this on your calendar if you want. We are going to see riots in New York if this guy becomes mayor, because that's going to be a green light to riot, and this mayor is not going to do anything about it. It's going to be heavily mismanaged, either intentionally or because he's incompetent, or both, just like Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, where the police are told to stand down. This guy wants to replace police officers with psychologists. I watched one speech he gave from one of his videos where he was talking about, think about it, you're having a domestic problem and men you don't know show up with guns. It's no wonder domestic problems keep happening with violence. So this guy is completely stupid. He's an idiot. He wants to have psychologists show up to a domestic disturbance with no firearms. How many police do you think are going to be quitting their jobs now and leaving for other places? They can come here. We have a shortage. Come on over here. We'll take you. We love the police here. So anyway, that's what's going on in the world. Absolute freaking lunatics. The friggin' Democrats are lunatics. And they're destroying themselves. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch. This guy is not going to be a benefit to Democrats. He's not. He's going to be an example, a final nail in that friggin' coffin that the Democrats have dug the hole for themselves with. Absolutely crazy. Frickin' crazy. They have taken the nut barge to Looney Town. Yep, Zohran. Z-O-H-R-A-N, Mamdani. M-A-N-T-A-H-N-I, I think, or A-N-H-I. Looks like Indian writing on one of his posters I saw. He's like 36, 38 years old, something like that. Friggin' Young radical. What a shame. Goodbye, New York. I already saw somebody post a picture online. They replaced the Statue of Liberty with a woman wearing a hijab because this guy won the primary. And that about sums it up, folks. We're going to be seeing evening call to prayers in Times Square, just like in London with this guy. He's just like that. He's the same as these places we see and we just go, oh my God, I can't believe Europe did this to themselves. Well, New York just did the same thing. Fucking unbelievable. Unfucking believable. That's why I think a lot of these Democrats are going to make sure he doesn't win. I think they're going to cheat against their own guy. Because if the independent wins, the Democrats will still win, because Cuomo's a Democrat. Now, he hasn't announced he's going to run yet, but there's another independent that is former mayor of New York. I think Mayor Adams is going to be on there as an independent. He can't run for another term. It's term limited. So I think you're going to see him on there as an independent. We'll see if I'm right. I'm not right about everything, damn it, but I get a few things right once in a while. I do know that the Democratic Party has acknowledged they have gone too far left and they realize it's not winning elections for them. We just had 3 Democrats here vote with Republicans to ban trans women from women's sports. It didn't pass anyway, but the point is those 3 Democrats crossed the aisle because they realize they're not going to get reelected where they come from if they support this. And those are the blue dog Democrats I was telling you about. So this friggin' Mamdani guy in New York, he said he's going to spend $65 million, $65 million to pay for transgender surgeries for minors and for illegals. This is all the stuff that caused California to go into debt by $500 million. Crazy. Fucking crazy, folks. And you people in New York watching this, if you live there, you're more than welcome to come to Maine, but not if you're going to vote Democrat. Don't come here if you're a Democrat. Just don't. Maine is in the process of turning red again because of Democrat stupidity. Voters are not happy with them. They've been losing seats. They're going to lose some more because they're pig-headed. They don't want to give up their stupidity and their socialist bullshit. And Maine doesn't operate like that. Southwest Maine is like Massachusetts and Connecticut, but the rest of the state is not. In fact, I wanted to talk about Janet Mills, Governor Millstone. Janet Mills, the same one that President Trump had a tiff with in public about transgender women and women's sports. Well, Maine has something every year. This year's Moose Lottery. It's a moose lottery. No, you don't buy a raffle and you get a chance to win a moose. It's not what it means. It means it's the hunting lottery. You put your name in, you get selected in certain rounds of hunting to be able to hunt moose. Culls the herd, keeps the herds healthy. And, you know, people like to hunt here in Maine. Very popular. Usually deer. There's black bear hunting, moose hunting. So she was hosting the annual moose lottery in Franklin County. Franklin County, there's a lot of liberals there. She came up on stage. I saw the video online and on the local news. She got booed. She got booed so badly she almost left, and she should have. People were talking about transgender women in sports, and they were yelling at her, I have daughters. I have a daughter. And her answer was to be smug and arrogant and said, I have 5 daughters. So here's the problem in Maine. I've showed you this before. This is part of the problem, this indoctrination into the cult. So anyway, she got booed off the stage, and she finished what she came there to say, but people were really ripping on her. And it wasn't just a couple of people, it was a lot of people there are very angry with her on the transgender women in sports thing. I don't think the Democrats understand, and that's why you just saw 3 Democrats vote with Republicans against it. So that's on its way out, folks. That's a political loser, and they just voted for somebody in New York City that's actually going to make it worse. Well, that's not our problem. You know, my condolences, New York, really. I love you guys, but, you know, this is up to you guys to fix this. And I'm sure this guy is going to prosecute political opponents. You know, he's a socialist. Bad news. He doesn't even identify as a Democrat that has, like, socialist values. I mean, he says, I am a socialist. The Democrat system isn't working. We need something new. That's how freaking dangerous this guy is. He's not even pretending to be a Democrat. So this is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be an incredible thing to watch. And we're going to watch. We're going to see what happens. Absolutely amazing time to be alive, folks. Cut across the street here. Try not to get run over. So that's what's going on right now. And I know I spent a lot of time talking about that tonight, but this is a big deal. This is one of the most consequential things that's happened in this decade that we're going to be talking about for the next 3-4 years, easy. And there's going to be rioting in New York. There's going to be violence. Shops are going to be broken. Things will burn. Police cars will be burned. And this guy's not going to do anything, just like the mayor of Minneapolis didn't do anything. He let the whole police station burn up. These people are dangerous. So, let's see if the Democratic Party has it in them to get rid of their own guy. Don't be surprised if some prosecutor in New York decides to prosecute this guy on something. Watch what happens. I'm pretty sure the Democrats are smart enough to know that this guy is going to be bad for them. I'm going to turn the camera around. So anyway, as always, if you have any opinions, I'd love to hear them. And if you don't, that's fine as well. Now I gotta tell you, I've been walking every day, and a couple of times I have a walk, you know, the 3 or 4 mile mark, I start getting a little laborious. Not really terrible. I don't want to make it sound like I can't do it or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I didn't walk yesterday, and today I'm walking 6 miles easy like it's nothing. I'm really not even feeling it yet, and I've only had 1 day off. So, I mean, I need to realize that, you know, I'm going to be 57 years old next month. I need to start giving myself a little more time. Recovery time is slower. I mean, basically, that's it. That's the whole thing. Muscle fatigue, bone aches, just fatigue in general. When you're 20 years old, You can go out and play ice hockey for 8 hours, 6 hours. We used to do that all the time. And now, play for 2, 3 hours, and you need a couple days to recover. That's, you know, that's what getting old is. So I'm just going to have to acknowledge that. And I mean, I love walking every day. I really do. I feel guilty when I don't. But I need to realize that maybe I just can't do that every day. So I also figure I usually do 5 miles. So if I add an extra day off of walking 5 miles, not walking it, and add 1 extra mile to the days I'm fresh, I'll still be walking the same amount, but I'll have a break or 2 in between. See what I'm saying? So it comes out to the same miles. So I might do that. And right now I got to change batteries. I'll be right back. There we go. I've got a fresh battery in here. So what I wanted to say, as far as President Trump goes, is, I'll wait till I'm past this person. Hi. So as far as that goes, it is, President Trump keeps winning. So he ended everything with Iran. Everything everybody was worried about in the region, Trump just ended it. Now the people in Iran, I hope they take their country back from the mullahs. But regime change is the problem of the people. It's not something we should be involved in. Because you can't. Regime change would take a long campaign of war with Russia, with Iran, possibly with Russia. The reason why I say possibly with Russia is Russia depends on Iran's military armaments quite a bit, which includes drones especially, while they're fighting in Ukraine. So they need to have a partnership with Iran. I've seen people online, well, Russia doesn't need Iran. They have all the oil they need. It's not about oil. It's about other stuff. Technology, drones, military equipment. Iran makes military equipment. What do you think they've been supplying to Hamas and Hezbollah? Iranian-made rockets, bombs, grenades, firearms. You know, some of these people online don't think. They just think that's all Iran is oil. No, it's not. It's not. So anyway, President Trump put an end to basically Iran's power in the region. And they're no longer going to have influence unless they supply arms to proxies for terrorism, like they have been in the past. But apparently there's a way to deal with that now with President Trump in the White House. And so I think effectively, while Trump is president anyway, Iran is going to be pretty impotent, which will make for peace in the region. And well, we'll see where we go from here, friends. I mean, that should be pretty cool, I think. I think that'll be pretty cool, to be honest with you. So we're going to take off down the side road here. A little extra long walk tonight. Yep, so shopping earlier, I've noticed that prices of some foods have gone down. Other ones, they have not. Now, what usually happens is you put in an order with the distributor and you pay the price that the distributor is selling the stuff at, and you always try to get your best price from your distributor, and then you do your markup to make a profit, so you can pay the store's bills, employees, and whoever owns the store makes money. And which Hannaford's is a chain on the East Coast, all the way down to Florida, I believe. They started in Maine here, or New England. But anyway, whatever they paid for their foods, they have to sell it for to make their money back. Even if prices for it have gone down, they're reluctant to lower the prices until they've sold their back stock, so they don't end up with overpriced overstock. And perfect example is a hardware up the road here, where we were able to find ammo during the ammo shortage, but it's Christian owned, he's very honest, and he sold it at high prices because he paid high prices to get it. Now, the ammo shortage is long over, but the stuff that he overpaid for, he still has it at high prices. And it's just sitting there collecting dust, and he won't lower the prices because he paid a high price for it to make sure his shelves were stocked. So if he were going to replace his inventory, he would buy stuff that costs less and sell it for less. He's not dishonest. So he sells 22s, 9mm, 38 specials, and really good prices. They're not overpriced at all. And in fact, some of the 22s were purchased there. I was like, man, I can't believe how good a price we got on these. And then right next to it, there'll be something else that's incredibly overpriced, because he wants the money back that he paid for it. You know, you can't blame him for that, but it's going to sit there a long time. I suppose eventually it'll sell, but getting a good workout tonight. It's warm tonight, it's a little humid, but like I said, the dew point is under 60, so this isn't bad at all. Last night it was so damn hot and steamy, I would have died on a walk last night. I wanted to walk, I was all ready to go. I changed my clothes and I stepped out on the porch and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I will not survive this. Now tomorrow, the high temperature, all right, the high temperature tomorrow is going to be 72, okay, with sun. And I know you guys down south probably were praying for something like that, and we're getting it. But we just had 100 degrees yesterday, 89 today. We had 95 the day before that with high humidity. And today the humidity has let up and we didn't even have thunderstorms. I just decided to let some Canadian air down here. It's really going to come in overnight. And tomorrow is going to be 72 for a high with sunshine, partly cloudy. Then we got a couple of days where it might rain some, and it'll be in the mid 70s. So we'll be getting back to normal here for June. But like I told you before, we've had like July 4th weekend before where it was 100 degrees, really humid. Pretty rare. I think the last time we had that, I think I went to go see the Terminator 3 in the theater. Terminator 3. I remember that. It was very, very hot, even in the movie theater. The air conditioning was on, but it didn't really feel like it. Probably because the movie theater was too cheap to turn it on. So I'm going to cut across here. coming up on 6 miles. Definitely had my walk tonight. Still feel good though. And 1 day off. You know, this is telling me, and we had another walk where I said the same thing before, so it's pretty obvious to me that I need to take a day off once in a while, even if I don't want to. That's just all there is to it. This was so much more enjoyable tonight. So we'll sign off up ahead. As you can see, I'm seeing a lot of deer lately. They're pretty active right now. Fireflies out there. You'll probably see a couple of them. A whole bunch of them. Last time we walked by here, I mentioned that and said, well, I don't think you guys will be able to see them. Then when I played it back, I was like, wow, I saw a couple of them. So I just recorded out there. We'll see what we see. This is the lawn here. One time I walked by here and there was 4 deer right here on the lawn. I almost walked right into them. They get a path they cut through over here. Oh, here comes a fire truck. We'll see where they're going. They're coming by this way. Looks like it. Straight. Going straight. Well, looks like we got another walk in the books tonight, my friends. And that last walk I did night before last, we saw the police with their guns out and everything. Glad I recorded that, though you can't really see anything. It was dark. I knew something was up when I saw the police car parked on the hill with its lights out. We also got a pew-pew jug tonight. Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, if it gets delivered in time, I'll be going to my FFL to pick up a new firearm, which is a Colt, Walther Colt 22 1911 A1, government model in black. Nice white Colt logo on the side with the horse. I gotta go pick that up tomorrow. We're supposed to deliver Monday, 2 days ago, and got lost in space. I was watching it on the tracking, and the damn tracking left Ohio and ended up in Dallas, Texas. I was like, well, that obviously took a wrong turn, like Bugs Bunny used to say. wrong turn, Albuquerque. Anyway, it finally made its way back up. It's in Maine now. It's at my distribution center, which means it'll be delivered tomorrow. I just don't know if it's going to be too late in the afternoon to go sign for it. Hopefully the FFL will give me a call and we'll pick it up. If it delivers first thing in the morning, that would be great. We'll see. We'll see what happens, damn it. So I'm going to finish up the walk just up ahead here. Usually I sign off outside that weed store, but somebody's parked out there. So I'm going to take a walk down side road that we usually go down, so it's really no big deal. But sometimes I'm just funny about that, you know. I don't want to draw attention. Somebody's speeding here, of course. People's favorite hobby, it seems, at times. Definitely a pretty nice night tonight. When I get back, I'm going to have some soft drinks. A couple of them anyway. I got that one in my backpack. I never even opened it. That's how fresh I feel good tonight. I thought it would be more humid than it is. It feels like the humidity has been dropping as we've been walking, which would explain tomorrow being 72 degrees. I would think by morning it's going to be pretty cool. So there we go. I'll sign off up ahead. Hope you enjoyed walking with me. I enjoyed tonight very much. I'll sign off up ahead here. Not yet. We're almost at 6 miles. I still have a ways to go after I stop recording. But we're at 5.9. 2 dogs at the end of this road. Oh boy, they're going to start barking. It's not late yet, but it's getting there. Oh, she just opened the door for them to go in the house. Took out a little dog. I think that's what she's doing. She's taking out the little dog, and then the 2 bigger dogs probably harassed the little dog, and he has a hard time going or something. So we'll see if the little dog barks. Well, she brought her little dog in the house. Nobody barking tonight, thank goodness. So, nice to have leaves in the trees. Isn't that nice? How many walks we went by here and there was no leaves in those trees. It's been pretty dry this summer so far too. We've been on walks where I got caught in the rain. It's been nice lately. So my friends, thank you very much for walking with me. Click like and subscribe, share the content, say a prayer for Trump and the country. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the Republic. See you later, my friends. See you on the next walk. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye now.